Welcome on in to this edition of SN College Football tonight. We've got a full on show here for you guys, talking a lot about week 2 of college football here. Glad to be here along with y'all to SN College Football tonight here on SN Studios. We're going to go through our scoreboard, but first, what was our Geico play of the day? It has to be that strip sack by Michigan to give them the win over Army. It did take a little more than it should have to beat Army, but a win is a win. We had 3 overtime games today, and as we speak, there are still 5 games going. Cal Wash in a weather delay. So as we speak, there's still some football going, but yeah. All right. So we had double overtime between Army and Michigan. Just one overtime between Nebraska and Colorado. Kennesaw State and Kent State needed overtime. And then, of course, Tennessee, for the first time since 1988, Tennessee starts 0-2 on the season. And really unacceptable to be where they are now, because they had chances in both weeks to really take advantage. They couldn't. They just couldn't. And I mean, it really just sets the tone of how they're playing here. Okay. Let's see here. Our 3 winners of the day. That's our next segment here. Number 1 winner, I would say, has got to be, let's see here. Let's go Colorado. Colorado, one of my winners of the day. They performed very well. I mean, we all expected a rout, really, from Nebraska, but Colorado, they showed up. They didn't want to get denied. And, I mean, it did kind of take Nebraska not having a star kicker out there to win it, but a win's a win, man. And, I mean, it's momentum going forward. I think Colorado, their season is going to be a lot better now that they got this win. I think they're going to make a bowl game now. Big win here. UCLA, another team that's 0-2. Next week they get Oklahoma, so it's a team that. So UCLA now in jeopardy of going 0-3 next week with a tough opponent on home soil, albeit, but UCLA, their schedule doesn't get easy. Let's UCLA's schedule here from here on out, and we see it. Didn't play. You're trying to count wins and you're just running out. You don't have very many games left. I mean, they still have 9 Pac-12 games, and now they're gonna have to win at least 5 of them. They're gonna have to have a winning record in Pac-12 play to even make a bowl game. So they get at Washington State, which is a tough game. At Arizona, maybe they can pull that one out. Oregon State, they should win. Then they get a bye week. Then at Stanford, will probably. That's on a Thursday night. I don't know. This is a very, very tough schedule going forward. Their last 3 games at Utah, probably not going to win that. At USC, that's a rivalry game. I can't anybody's game there. And then Cal at home in the last game, the regular season. Chip Kelly very in jeopardy. Can't be. They scored 14 points 2 weeks in a row, and Chip Kelly is known for his explosive offense. And I'm sorry, but you can't be losing to Cincinnati and San Diego State. UCLA, they should be 1-1. If they were 1-1, they wouldn't have this big of a problem. But 0-2 here, it's a huge problem. And then Tennessee, what are they doing? They had plenty of opportunity both last week and this week to close it out. But enough of that negative stuff. Let's go to another winner of today. And it's going to be LSU going on the road and playing a big time. I remember earlier today, Colorado had a big flea flicker. They're big plays in that game. That's how they won. They won in the big plays. Nebraska got to tighten that up. But going back to LSU, Joe Burrow, I think this team's legit. They got a good quarterback, and a good quarterback is something you got to have a good team. All the national championship teams have had a quarterback capable of making big plays. Going back, maybe Ohio State didn't, but back in 2014, 2015. But I mean, they had Zeke, they had a defense. But I mean, Cordell Jones wasn't bad either. You have to have big throws in every game. I mean, unless you're Army, I guess you run crazy triple option. But Army actually, the throws that they made, they tried to make today, they backfired and actually cost them the game. I think they threw an interception. That's unacceptable. For a team that doesn't throw the ball, you can't be throwing an interception. Just doesn't. Let's try to get. So we had a winner from the Pac-12. We had a winner from the SEC. Let's try to get a winner from another conference, and it's going to be Maryland. I mean, really, there's a lot of Big Ten teams I could give it to, or even. I'm not so sure about Big 12. They didn't have too good of a day. I mean, they didn't really play anybody. But I'm going to go with Maryland. I mean, Syracuse, highly overrated. They should not have been ranked at all. I don't know what the point of ranking them was. But, hey, they took care of business, and that's what matters. That you can only play who's in front of you. And, I mean, okay. What was I saying? I was talking about Maryland, but Maryland, decent day, I guess you can say. 63 points. Syracuse, they're a power team, and you let up 63 points. That's a concern. Next week they get Clemson. I mean, part of it is that they were looking ahead to Clemson, and you can't do that. I mean, that's not a sign of a good team. That's a sign of a team that has one team that they can beat. So let's look at these picks here and see who is winning right now. Jordan has 19.5. I have 21, so a 1.5 point lead right now for me. Okay, so I have Washington, Stanford, and Fresno State still left. on my picks. He has Washington, USC, and Minnesota. So still two discrepancies. Jordan still has an opportunity to win the week. Give him a half point because he didn't get his pick in for Marshall, Boise State. But to be, I'm 21 out of, I want to say 24. Is that only 3 games wrong all day? Yeah, 1 game in each window wrong. That's counting last night's game against Boise State Marshall, which I got right. So 21 out of 24 is a good percentage. It's 87%. Round up to 88, I guess. Hey, and that's giving 2 points for the LSU and 2 points for Clemson, also. Because those were the 2 biggest games of the day. The games I got wrong really were kind of on me. I shouldn't have picked Syracuse. I shouldn't have picked. Nebraska, Colorado. 2 of the games that I got wrong were overtime games, so I don't feel as bad. When 2 of your 3 games you got wrong were overtime games, you kind of knew what was going on this week. Yeah, I don't know if they're even going to resume the Cal Washington game. Yeah, I can't speak for that because the game was supposed to start over an hour ago from the time we're recording this, and they haven't really resumed yet. So yeah, I think the thing is right now, where would I rank teams in the top 4? Would I give a top 4, top 6 right now? I really don't want to, but who's the number 1 team right now? Probably Clemson. They didn't play very good today. They made a few mistakes, but that's just part of the early season. I'll give Clemson a pass today. It was at home. They got a win. And it was a physical team that they played. Probably the most physical team they're going to play all year in Texas A&M. And give them credit. They won it. I think Clemson's the number 1 team in the nation. Alabama really hasn't played anybody, so I don't know. LSU performed really good against Texas. And I guess I got to say Alabama's just better because they're Alabama. I don't know. I'd say go Clemson, Alabama, then LSU. Then I go Ohio State, man. The Ohio State played really good today against Cincinnati. That was not a game. Ohio State rocked them out of the park. See, Ohio State is Cincinnati's a team that just beat UCLA, which, UCLA is not very good. But Cincinnati is a team that we think could win the American, could really test UCF. They're not a nobody. Don't tell me New Mexico State is as good as Cincinnati. Don't tell me that. Don't tell me South Dakota is as good as Cincinnati. Or Murray State, which other teams are trying to play. Well, Ohio State. Ohio State's non-conference is tough. Well, I wouldn't say tough, but they get Miami of Ohio still to come. They got Cincinnati today. And last week, who did they get? Florida Atlantic. They got a team from the Conference USA. They're all right. They got a team from the MAC, which is pretty good. And they got a team from the American, which is the best Group of 5 conference, in my opinion. So I would say that right now, Ohio State is number 4 behind LSU. Number 5, I mean, I'd say 5 and 6 are Oklahoma and Georgia, in whatever order you want to put them in. But it's still so early. These teams haven't played anybody. We'll see Oklahoma next week against UCLA against on the road. Oklahoma did play Houston last week, but again, Georgia, they played pretty much walkover teams so far. Look at next week's, but yeah, we're gonna really see something out of Georgia when they take on Notre Dame. They get Notre Dame week 4, I believe. So next week's SEC schedule, a lot of games, I guess. A lot of early games, a lot of late games. A lot of late games. There's 5 primetime SEC games next week. 3 midday games and 3 early games. So that involve an SEC team. Georgia gets Arkansas State next week. Another walkover team. And I don't know if they're going to be ready for Notre Dame. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But Notre Dame, Georgia, Auburn, A&M is also that week, which looks like a really good game right now. Because I don't know I don't know what A&M's going to be really down the road. So thank you guys for tuning in to SN College football tonight. We will see all of you guys next week for SN College football tonight. Also tune in to SN College football today, Saturday on SN for SN College football today. College football tonight, prime time on SN Sports, and then the next day on SN. Till then, peace out.